If you've followed the Muddy Ruttzz journey, you know I don't believe in fixing things that aren't broken. But when you're out in the deep desert, your power system is your lifeline. Today, we're taking the military-grade foundation of this Xventure XV-3 off-road trailer and we're evolving it for the next generation of performance. We're ditching the lead-acid weight, upgrading the brain of the solar system, and future-proofing the entire backbone. Let's get to work. Here's the lineup. The crown jewel is this Ohmmu H5 Sodium-Ion battery. I won this in a raffle at Overland Expo West, and it's a massive upgrade to the lead-acid AGM battery that I've been running for the last few years. To manage the charge, we're swapping the stock ZAMP controller for a Victron SmartSolar MPPT and replacing the original NOCO charger with the Gen 5 X2. I've got a SmartShunt battery monitor here too, but that's a deep dive for the next video. Today we're focusing on core power delivery. I've got a challenge here. Xventure built this box to military specs, meaning it's tight and efficient. These components are higher spec. That usually means they're larger. In the case of the Smart Solar charger, that's true. It's a lot larger unit than the ZAMP solar charger. You could see Xventure welded a plate right onto the lid of this toolbox, and that's where the ZAMP solar charger is mounted. But unfortunately, my new solar charger is not going to be able to fit there. So I'm going to need to find a new spot for that. On the other hand, this NOCO Genius Gen 5 is actually smaller, but a lot more powerful of a unit than the Gen 2. I'll be able to mount the Gen 5 in the exact same location that Xventure mounted this Gen 2. And you can see on the back of this Gen 2, there's actually a plate mounted a lot like the solar charger was, but that one was bolted, not welded, to the front of the trailer down here. So I'll be able to take this Gen 2 off that plate, mount this Gen 5 on the plate, and put that in the exact same spot. This is the battery stand, and it holds the battery really nicely. It's got a lower level for one battery and an upper level for two. I've only got one battery right now, but I need to decide what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to mount the new battery down low or I'm going to mount it up high from the old battery. My job is to integrate the new tech without compromising the clean layout that Xventure designed. Let's start fitting these components up. You might be wondering, why mess with a system that works? Honestly, I didn't have to. I could have dropped this Ohmmu H5 battery right into my trailer and it would have played perfectly well with the old components. It has a battery management system that'll allow it to do that. But by moving to the SmartSolar MPPT, I'm gaining Bluetooth connectivity, which lets me fine-tune the charge profile for maximum efficiency. It's about optimizing what I've already got. I was a little intimidated by all the wiring in here, but I took a lot of photos, did some labeling, and then I traced all the wires back to where they come from. You want to do all that before you pull a single wire. In a 12-volt system, close enough will eventually leave you stranded. One thing I realized when I started tracing back the wires is that Xventure had bank 1 and bank 2 hooked to the one single battery that was installed in the trailer. For me, I don't need to do that. On the new Gen 5, I'm only going to use bank 1. There's no reason unless I add another battery to hook up both banks. Bank 2 wires will be safely rolled up and out of the way unless I add a second battery. So the first thing I need to do is install this battery in the trailer's toolbox. And I'm going to try to use the lower position. And I've got these terminal adapters right here that change this battery from a post to a stud attachment. Original Odyssey battery came with terminal and stud attachments already built onto it. So that was pretty nice. I thought I was going to have to install this battery like this and then have the extensions going out that way. But I think this might work the way I have it. The unfortunate thing about doing it this way would have been that the terminal connections would have been opposite. So my negative would have been on this side and my positive would have been on that side. And that would have been opposite of the original battery, so it wouldn't have fit up as good inside the trailer. So hopefully this gets me oriented just properly the right way with my positive on this side and my negative on this side, just like this battery was. And if this works, I should be able to slide this in. Then it uses a strap just to hold it in, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So this is the first thing. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see if this is going to work out. Heck, that doesn't look too bad. I got the battery installed. I like the way it looked. I got it strapped in. And then I thought about how this little bit of metal is sticking out the side of the battery here on the terminal. I worried if that comes into contact with the metal part of the battery stand, maybe we could get some arcing. So I thought maybe I will go ahead and put some electrical tape around there. All right, I used some high quality UL listed electrical tape, and I put some tape around these terminal ends where they're sticking out so they won't make, if they do make contact with the side of the battery stand, they will not arc. So that should be good. We'll see how that holds up. I'm sure that's going to be fine. I put a bunch of wraps around it. Let's get this battery reinstalled and move on. Okay, my battery's installed. I've got the strap to hold it in here. It's not going anywhere. I put a zip tie around each of my terminal extensions, and they're not moving around. So let's see, we'll get this battery charger installed next, which goes against the wall here. The original NOCO was solid, but it's a single profile charger. By moving to this Gen 5 X2, I'm getting a smarter multi-stage charge profile that's specifically dialed in for this sodium battery. It's not just about fitting a bigger box into a tight space, it's about giving my power system the precision it needs to stay healthy for the long haul. Now that the new Ohmmu H5 sodium-ion battery is installed in the trailer toolbox, I can install this NOCO Genius Gen 5 X2 battery charger. And this is a lot better unit than the old one. The old one was actually larger, but not quite as powerful. And also this one has settings. You can pick a regular battery, standard battery, an AGM, a lithium. I'll be using a lithium setting, which is pretty close to the sodium ion. But now I had to install this on the plate, so I drilled a couple holes and bolted this to the plate. And this plate's aluminum, it was easy to drill through. And this is what the old Genius 2 was mounted on. So that's how they did it at the Xventure factory. So now let's just get this installed, bolted up, and we're ready to move on to installing the solar charger. So the new NOCO Gen 5 is installed and bolted to the wall right across from the new battery. Here's the wires that are going to hook up the new battery to this charger. And the charger also has the 110. It's going to plug in to here, and we can plug this in the wall, and this charger will charge up the battery with the 110 in the garage. And here's the male side that gets plugged in. Okay, so the last component to get installed is going to be the SmartSolar MPPT. You remember from earlier in the video that my solar charger was here mounted before, and it was mounted on this plate. They put this reinforcement here. That was a really nice place for it. When you open the lid, you could see what was going on. Now, I'm pretty sure that this could be mounted any which way. What I'm thinking about is because inside this bin is like prime storage, and there's stuff that moves around in there and could damage this if I mounted it down inside. And the wires are already running over here. So I'm considering mounting this right here like this. It'll be upside down and sideways. I can't mount it like this. That would hit onto my fuse box. So I'm going to try it like this, and I'm going to just throw a couple screws in it and see if the lid opens and closes. And if it does, then I'll go ahead and put it in permanent. I'll get the two temporary screws here diagonally. So I just used some self-tapping sheet metal screws, call them tech screws, and let's see, how's that going to work? Man, I don't think that's too bad. Okay, the SmartSolar charger's all bolted to the door. It closes just fine. These are the battery and solar leads. The old ZAMP controller used spade terminals, but we're stepping up to ferrule connectors for a tighter, more reliable termination. Always ring out your wires with a meter first. You never know what the last guy did. If you're not confident in your electrical work, step back, because in this field, close enough isn't just bad practice, it's dangerous. Got my solar panel all laid out here, and one thing, we do not have a shortage of sun in New Mexico. All right, got the system installed, and I got the settings right on the SmartSolar controller. And now it's time to test out and see how the solar panel is going to work with that solar controller. When I say ring out every connection, I mean it, especially when you're dealing with inherited setups. The factory ZAMP system on this Xventure uses a reversed polarity standard compared to the rest of the industry. This adapter bridge is exactly what makes it compatible with my new Victron gear. Always verify your polarity before you plug it in. It's the difference between a successful install and a blown fuse. Now for the moment of truth. Let's fire up the Victron Connect app. It's linking via Bluetooth, and there we go. We're live. You can see the system is recognizing the battery voltage, and everything looks stable. It's a great feeling to see that first bit of digital confirmation after the physical install. Now we need to dial this in. I'm opening the expert settings, and yes, you only want to mess with these if you know exactly what your chemistry requires. Because I'm running the Ohmmu Sodium-Ion, I've input the specific charging parameters to match the internal BMS. These aren't standard lead-acid settings, but they're exactly what this battery needs for a long, healthy life. And with the solar panel connected, the system is fully active. You can see the solar input climbing and the charge flow is perfect. It's pulling exactly what it should. The Ohmmu is working perfectly, the Victron is talking to it beautifully, and we are officially ready to hit the trail with a rock-solid, high-efficiency power system. So we have the new Ohmmu H5 sodium-ion battery, the new NOCO charger, and the SmartSolar charger here working just fine. Everything's installed. I've got some cable management to do to clean everything up, but everything's working fine. The battery's charging up now. I'm going to have another video in this series, and it's going to be installing the SmartShunt battery monitor. So come back for that. Make sure you've subscribed. There'll be a playlist for all these videos that have to do with the battery. There'll be links in the description to all the products that you've seen in the video. It doesn't cost you an extra dime if you use my link to purchase something. Also keep an eye out for a link on the in-depth articles on muddyrutz.com. That'll provide a lot more detail than we can talk about here in the video. I'll see you on the next one, and don't forget, on Muddy Rutz, the best is yet to come.